Hi, I'm John Martin, CEO of S.I.R. Institute for Tomorrow. Welcome to video number 1, Population Shifts. This is the first of our 10-part video series on these 10 trends to help you understand and adapt to our ever-changing world. You know, over the last 100 years, there's been a trend that hasn't been our friend, and that's looking at the population growth in urban areas versus rural areas. And so for the last 120 years, we have seen America shift from rural life to urban life. And it's depicted clearly on this chart. And my gosh, when you start to see something year after year look like this, you have to ask yourself, where is this headed? Well, I've got some news for you. America is growing, and it's projected to grow from 330 million people today to 359 million by 2030. So that's positive growth. But you're probably saying, oh yeah, but not with that trend. Well, here's the big news. Something huge happened in 2023. We saw an increase of America's rural population, 56,000 more people from 2021 to 2022 moved in to rural areas. And moved in is the right way to think about this. When you think about a population and population change, there are many forces at work, and one is births versus deaths. So when you look at the population change, some of those 56,000 people, look at the births to deaths. So we've had definitely a lot more deaths than births. So we're not growing with that natural population growth. But look at the immigration growth in terms of international migration, in terms of domestic migration. So total migration is bringing us more and more people. So in a nutshell, what this means is more people are electing to live in rural locations. 56,000 in total increase in rural populations, making up for that deficit and that natural population gain, in this case loss, but definitely a net gain when you think about where people are moving. So this is great news, and I think a watershed moment to celebrate. So we'll see what the census says in the years ahead, but at one clear takeaway is, oh my gosh, we have maybe reached a new point and maybe a turnaround in what has been a 100-year trend. So what is the implication? Well, the implication for you is you've got to know your service area in terms of the population. And so it's not that difficult to use the US Census online and just look at your counties and just look at what that population is. And the US Census has population projections out to 2060. So for one of the meetings that you have around this kind of material, assign somebody to go look at the US Census and see what you guys are projected to look like. My hope is this is only going to become a better and better picture over time. So think again, a reference back to Adam Grant. Think again, future forward rural transit leaders at work should really be thinking about some ways to make connections even broader to help out what I hope is going to be a growing base of riders. So throughout this entire series of videos, I'm going to point to a couple of examples that I think are perhaps inspirational to get you to think again. One of them is Pelivan Transit, Northeast Oklahoma. I just look at the copy on this website. They think beyond borders, and that's what we have to do. When you start to think about that population, where your primary catchment area is, just think a little bit beyond that. This is 2 consortiums with 10 tribes, and their public transportation services on their website talk about serving people in all 6 counties. And so I think that's terrific to really be able to talk about the connections that you make and do it beyond borders. People travel beyond borders. In Open Plains Transit in Nebraska's Panhandle, oh my gosh, you've got to go and look at their website. They have taken this idea of thinking beyond borders and serving people and making connections for people beyond the tight parameters of your catchment area through this wonderful copy. So on their website, they talk about their bus schedules are aligned with other service providers in adjacent areas so that individuals can easily travel to various communities in the Panhandle and even across the state. But wait, there's more. Their website goes on to talk about these services also provide access to the surrounding states of Wyoming, South Dakota, Iowa, Colorado, and extend to Illinois, Missouri, Montana, and New Mexico and Texas. But they didn't stop there. Their website copy goes on to say this in turn allows access to the rest of the United States and indeed to the rest of the world. I think a great idea has many fathers. I would rip off this copy and use it for your own website because it's true. You're providing connections to the world. So think about that and think about the population you serve, but really in a bigger sense, the broader population that's all around you. So look at your sheet in this very first trend on population shifts and think about these questions and look at your own website and just think, just imagine what you can say and how it will start you to think bigger than who you are today so you can get ready for these changes that are coming tomorrow. Thank you.